One of the most ironic parts about the marketing industry in general is no one takes the time to break down what marketing actually is. People talk all the time about making sure you have a good offer, how to speak to your buyers, product market fit, market research, red ocean, blue ocean, all of this jargon around marketing. But no one ever looks at the word and says, well, why is it marketing? Why is your market important? And so in this video, we're going to break down three things that are fundamental to understanding marketing. And if you have no copywriting skills, you don't know what a funnel is, you don't know how to run an ad, if you just understand this concept, you will be a better marketer than 99% of people out there. So in this video, we're going to break down why understanding markets is really, really important in basic market dynamics. Number two, what are markets? And number three, how to leverage markets in your marketing. Like I said, if you pay attention to this video and you have no marketing experience, you will outperform 99% of marketers out there, because a lot of us get caught up in the copywriting tactics and the funnel strategies and the Facebook ad strategies, yet people tend to forget the fundamentals of marketing, which is your market. So number one, why is understanding your market so important? Your market dictates two things: who you're selling to and how much they'll pay. This is based off of two things. Number one, buying power, and number two, demand. All your market is a group of people that are very, very similar that you sell things to. So it comes down to buying power and demand. Let's look at this through the lens of buying a car. For example, two dealerships. You've got a Ferrari dealer and you've got a Honda dealer. Both sell cars, but they sell cars to different markets. For the Honda, these people are just looking to get a car. They don't necessarily have a ton of buying power in most cases. I know plenty of rich people that don't even want nice cars, but again, in most cases, if you're buying a Honda, it's because you just need a car. So there's not a lot of buying power, and the demand for a Honda isn't super high because they sell so many of them. There's a very large supply, and we'll get into this in a minute. So that's one example. On the flip side, you have the Ferrari dealer. People who buy Ferraris have very high buying power. They're dropping $250,000 on a car, and there's very high demand for them because everybody on the come up wants a Ferrari, yet they only release so many. The same thing is true of like a Timex watch versus a Rolex, or even Rolexes versus Richard Milles. You can sell the same thing, but if you sell to a different market, the economics of your business change drastically, and the way that you market to the business changes, which is why your market is so powerful. So again, your market is defined as who you're selling to and how much they will pay for the thing. And this is broken down into the person's buying power, the ICP's buying power, as well as the demand for the thing that you're selling. Now, there's one more component to markets that are extremely important to understand, and this breaks down the demand aspect of it. If you've ever taken an economics class, there are two components to any market. You have supply and you have demand. On this graph, as supply goes up, demand goes down. It's that simple. So if we have very high supply, we have very low demand. If we have very high demand, it means we have very low supply. Think about COVID when everybody was going out and getting toilet paper. Toilet paper flew off the shelves because the demand became so great, the supply could not keep up. So it flew off the shelf. This is a market at its core. And that's really it. All a market is who you're selling to and how much they'll pay for your thing. We break this down into the individual's buying power and the demand for the product or service you're offering. If you were to visualize a market, this is what it would look like: supply and demand. Now that we understand that, the part that majority of marketers get so wrong, they become overly fixated on two things: my offer and my ICP. ICP is ideal consumer profile, the person that you're selling your product or service to. Most marketers become way too concerned with having the best offer or selling to the richest ICP, or in some cases, the best offer for the poorest ICP. Doesn't really matter. But they become overly fixated with this. How do I say the right words to attract my ideal consumer? How do I make this the best offer anybody's ever seen? And although that's great, what a lot of people miss is the core of marketing, which is, do they even speak the same language? Is this an offer that someone would even want to buy inside of this market? That is the number one part that people miss. Is, you hear it all the time in entrepreneurship school: product, market, fit. If all I did in my paid ads or my marketing efforts was make sure that I had product market fit, I wouldn't need to know anything about buyer psychology, about copywriting, about funnel building. I would just need to say what the other person would need to hear. If I have a group of people who are looking to deploy investment capital, hey, we have this opportunity for you to deploy your capital. Ding, 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 that's for me. That's it. Then there's the other side of it. If I'm selling paid ad services to electricians, yeah, I might get a couple of buyers, but there's not a great product market fit. Why? Almost every single electrician I know is booked out their ass, and they don't run a single paid ad. Their digital presence is horrible, and they don't even really do good marketing. Yet they are booked out the wazoo. Why? Because there is a very high demand for their services. Now, as a marketer, if I came in and said, hey, we'll help you run paid ads for your electrician business, how many electricians do you think would buy? I can have the best offer. I can say the right things. I can look the most professional. I can even have the most proof. But if the electricians don't want my services, that doesn't work. Now, let's try flipping it. If I were to say, we'll help you bring on an extra 3 electricians to make sure you can handle all of the work and you don't lose jobs to competitors. Click the link below. We'll build your recruiting pipeline. Now, all of a sudden, my offer is going to crush because this is an actual need of those electrician businesses. And so this is why making sure that your product market fit is spot on. There's one thing to look out for though here. This is where your skills as a marketer become extremely important. You have to understand the competition within a market. This is where the whole red ocean, blue ocean idea comes into play. If I nail down product market fit, but I enter into a market with a ton of competition, I now have to be a savage marketer. I have to know how to say the right things. I have to know how to have the best offer, how to have the best funnel. I have to have a really, really good sales team. Everything about my business has to be dialed in order for me to crush in that market. And so if you have good product market fit, you'll be able to sell your thing. The ease at which you sell it is based off the competition within that market. For example, selling marketing services to roofers, so much competition. Selling marketing services to information products, so much competition. If you go to a farmer's market and you're the fourth stand there selling apples, it's a lot harder than if you're the only stand selling apples. Even if you're in the right place, the amount of competition dictates the skill set you need. And if you're curious about what this looks like, if your business is up to par with where you need to be based on the market you're in, you can book a call to speak to myself or a member of the team. We'll do a full audit of your entire business on the marketing and sales front to see how well you compete. Now, there is a caveat to competition, and this is something one of my clients and good friends says all the time. Sometimes entering into markets with high amounts of competition is good if you're an absolute savage at whatever you're doing. If you produce the best results, you have the best sales team, you have the best marketing funnel, you can dominate your market. This is Apple. Apple dominates the phone business. There's nobody that even comes close. They're just the best. And so sometimes competition plays in your favor because now nobody can really enter into that market and take over. Shoes used to be this way, not so much anymore, but like running shoes used to be Nike, Adidas, Reebok at a time. But again, the higher the competition, if you can execute well, you can just completely take over. So that's the basics, why it's important and what markets are in general. This brings me to the last and most important part of this video is how can I leverage a basic understanding of markets in marketing? The number one way you can do this is by understanding how to pick your market. This is the number one skill that a marketer can have. The number one skill for a very simple reason. If I pick the right market and sell the right thing, I can be an idiot and make a ton of money. It is not that hard. So how do we do this? Number one, depending on your goals, in most cases, we recommend everybody go for somebody with a buying power that's high. The higher the buying power, the more money you can make per client. The easier it is for you as a business owner. I can do residential electricity work for some poor dude in a trailer home and deal with the headaches of now he's pinching pennies and sweating. Or I can do it for some rich guy in a mansion who's not even gonna pay attention and just stroke me a check without even thinking. I can sell marketing services to businesses doing less than 100 grand a year, where $2K a month is gonna stress them out because it's 20% of their annual income. Or I can sell to people that are doing 10 million a year who just want an email system, and 5 grand a month is nothing. They don't even have to approve it. So number one, what is the buying power of the people you want to sell to? Number two is the sophistication. I don't know if I spelled that word right. We're doing our best. This is not necessarily something that's good or bad, but depending on what I'm selling them, how aware are they of what I'm selling? For example, if I sell email marketing services as an add-on to a marketing agency that specializes in paid ads, they're going to know most of the things I'm talking about to a certain degree. They're not idiots. They're not going to go, holy shit, it's like you invented fire. They already know what's going on. Whereas if I sell email marketing services to your local med spa who has never run email before, it's like you invented fire. So is it a good or a bad thing? Not necessarily, because I would also be thinking about where the sophistication actually comes from. Is it sophistication induced by competition in the market, or is it sophistication because it's just adjacent to what they're already doing? So there is that. You know, if they're highly sophisticated because they've been burnt by a dozen agencies or a dozen of your competitors, well, then that's one thing. But if they're sophisticated just because it's a service that they have thought about selling or they've definitely done research on, that's another story. So sophistication, good or bad, can swing either way, just depends. But understanding sophistication. So number one, what's the buying power? Typically, in most cases, do they have a high buying power? And then number two, what is the level of sophistication? Number three, this is the most important one. What is the total addressable market? Let's take my own marketing agency, for example. I sell paid ad services to information products and to capital raising clients, investment funds looking to raise capital to invest from limited partners. Info, it's a decent sized industry, but it's nothing like the teeth whitening industry or the toothpaste industry. Capital raising, it's hard to find funds that are regulated and able to actually run paid ads. There's only so many funds that have gone through the process of getting approved to run ads. So that's a very low TAM. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. But understanding the addressable market that you're selling to drastically dictates your marketing approach. If I have a super small TAM, it's way better for me to do very direct, personalized outreach to these businesses. If I have a very large TAM, I have more room for error. I'm just going to run ads and see how many ads I can run. So it really depends on what you're doing. But understanding the amount of people you can sell to greatly impacts the success of your marketing efforts. For example, it's why you see a lot of info agencies Go from info to insurance. Everybody needs insurance. It's why selling car detailing services when I used to run that business was super easy. Almost everybody's got a car. They don't have a car, they got a motorcycle. Almost everybody has something with wheels. So understanding your TAM is the next thing that's super, super important. And the last one that I believe is by far the most important thing is understanding where they spend their time. So number one, buying power. Can they afford your services? Is it they can afford it and it's tough, or is it cool, dude, here's the money, don't really care? Number two, how sophisticated is the market? Are they aware of your things? Have they tried your competitors like yours before? How aware are they of what goes on in this whole world? Number three, how many people can I actually sell to? What's the total addressable market? And then number four, where do these people spend their time? For example, if I'm gonna run Facebook ads for a business, but all of my customers don't even have Instagram, maybe they're 7 years old. Is Facebook ads really the best channel? Fuck no, absolutely not. Is direct mail a great channel? You're goddamn right. Is SMS blasting a good channel? 100%. Is email? 50-50. And it's less of a concern nowadays, but you need to understand where they spend time. For example, even just 50 to 60 versus 20 to 30. Instagram, Facebook. Are they nerds? Do they spend a bunch of time on Reddit? Are they watching YouTube videos? Do they watch cable television? Do they scroll TikTok? You need to understand where your buyers are spending time, where the people you're trying to sell to are spending time. Once I've gone through this and I've asked myself all of these questions and I have a good idea as to what my market is, now I can begin to think about what they want. And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say I'm selling to a market that's sold to a lot. There's two ways I can go about this. I can just outspend somebody and completely take over market share from brute force. Or what I can do is I can find, and this is where your marketing skills come in, specific angles or demographics that are underserved. And I can spend ad dollars on these things. And so inside of my TAM, like I said, I do this all the time on different videos, but pretend these are different market segments. Let's say this gets served to all the time, this gets served to all the time, this gets served to all the time, but this part of the market does not. If I enter here, it allows me to dominate and then begin to insert myself into the adjacent markets. But again, if I said, fuck it, I'm just going to come here, you better be ready to compete. And this is where all the marketing skills come in. And like I said, if you're curious to learn a little bit more about what that looks like based off your market and what you're selling, you can click that link below, book a call with us. Or if you're looking at launching a new info product competition, you can book that call, speak to us, really any business. The way at which you enter into the market dictates your success with your campaigns as well as the skill required of you as a marketer. And that's really it, guys. There are so many videos that you can watch on copywriting frameworks, hooks, different psychology tactics you can use in the things that you write, your funnels that perform best, how to train your sales team to close deals best. Yes, all of that is important. Don't get me wrong. Half the shit on this channel is that. But if you just sold to a bunch of people that have never been sold to before and you have something that they would actually buy, you can be a dumbass and absolutely crush. So I hope this video helped a lot of you guys in terms of rethinking either where you're at in business or if you're launching a new organization or new offer, how to go about that. Marketing is a powerful skill to have, but you will get outcompeted by some dummy that sells to the right people just because they picked the right market. So I hope that helped, guys. If you have any questions, you want more videos like this, drop a comment below. I appreciate your feedback, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.